So, Fauxbois concrete. Fauxbois, the reason it's given a French name is because the very first reinforced concrete anything is invented by a Frenchman looking for a way to make terracotta pots bigger than what he can get into a kiln. So he's watching other gardeners making rock easier than what he can move them by throwing mortar at iron mesh. He's watching these guys making rock and he's thinking, that's a product I can use. So he gets the first patent for what he's called cement armé, which we translated to say ferro cement. Well, we have the same word for cement, but we also now call it reinforced concrete. Same product, same invention. So when he expands his patent to build the very first bridge, he's designing a garden for a chateau, a castle in France. 1875, he expands his patent. He makes the first bridge look like rustic logs and timbers, as if the peasants of the chateau had made it in the 14th century out of wood. So this technique of making Fauxbois dates back to that invention of reinforced concrete. So by the work I'm doing now, I'm replacing all the stuff that has failed in the course of 90 years. Work is 90 years old, so as it has absorbed moisture, it's been trapped in places where they left air pockets behind. The air pockets, because of this dry mix they were using. The dry mix would fill a cage of metal around a single iron bar, dry enough to not spill out. That was their form. Then they'd come back and decorated this surface with the outer decoration. So as it's dried, as it's aged, the dry mix, as it's turned into flowstone, like the stalagmite material, calcium and lime deposits have self-sealed the outer places where I can't pull it apart. The system's actually working. As it dries out, it pulls the moisture out of the steel. So where it's failing is because it's trapping water. So I pick it off, tap at it, listening for hollow spots. Any place that sounds hollow, I'm looking for sound material. That's how we get that expression, sound material. Where it doesn't sound right, I pick it all apart to where I can't get it apart anymore. Then I put new work back that looks as good as the old stuff and make sure that I don't leave air pockets behind. So my steps involved in this is actually, first thing, treating the steel so it can't rust anymore, applying new mesh to the top of those places where it's been a void, and filling that mesh, that's what this rough surface is, and then pounding that through the mesh with a heavy scrub brush. Now I've pushed it into the nooks and crannies. Now I've corrected with this step all the rusting steel and the air pockets problem that created the rusting steel, and left myself a rough surface then that I can apply new material, grout this time, finer sand and mortar, that I can sculpt to look like the old work, which is what I'm doing today. So I'm going to show you my favorite technique that I discovered and how this guy made this bark. I was puzzled at how he did it. And sitting at a stoplight in the first couple of weeks, everybody else was happy with it but me. I was getting close using my icing bag and leaving stripes, and I'd strike it down with a stiff brush or something, and that would leave getting something close. But then I'm looking at it, how did this guy do this? And I'm sitting at a stoplight, turning it every which way, and I'm holding it up, and I'm right at this point, I'm seeing this cross section, the side view. In that valley, nothing else would make this shape but the roofing nail. There's this distinctive T-shape in there as you look at the cross section. I buy a box of roofing nails, it's game on. I've unlocked a 90-year-old secret. So this is what the nail does. As you push it up or drag it down, it leaves these valleys with the odd curlicues that you can't make deliberately. It gives it that natural look that only nature can do stuff regularly irregular. Something you don't do deliberately is happening just like nature does. So thanks for filming. Appreciate that, Laura.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
What is your name, sir?
Terry Eagan.
Eagan.
Eagan. Like Regan.